Hello, welcome to our movie class. Today we will speak about sci-fi movie called Interstellar. But the movie is too long to retell the story in few words, so let's start it step by step. Let's don't try to retell all the story from from one speaker. And we have Diana who said that she didn't watch the movie, right, Diana?
No, I didn't even start. Today I was too busy, and I remember Gerard told me yesterday that it is almost 2-3 hours long, so that's why I decided, well, why should I start? I enjoy watching movies from the beginning till the end. I don't like those breaks in between. They just so that's why.
But it's good for us, For us, it will be a challenge to explain you what happened in this movie and why.
So, you should be very pleased to have me, who does not know anything about this movie. Yes.
Yeah, I think you know a lot. You know about humankind, about yours, about space.
Oh, absolutely. Yes, I am an expert in humankind.
Yeah. So let's start from the beginning. What is how we call that? The action before climax, the beginning of the story. Is it a word for that? Diana, you should know.
I don't know, like the first part of the of the movie, like the first 2 hours or 2 hours and a half, and then the last 10 minutes when it is all explained is called climax of the movie, right? Am I right?
But I can remember that you shared a document once, and it was in terms before climax and after. It was special terms.
Yeah. But I don't remember. No.
Prologue, maybe prologue.
Prologue. It's a good word. I think it is. So let's speak about prologue for a few minutes. Vasants, what is about? What's happening on in the prologue?
In the prologue, the people were trying to save the Earth, especially the man called Cooper. He was called by the NASA scientists, and they worked together and to find another planet for the human species. So that's what their mission. The mission is called the Lazarus mission, and 12 people were sent to different. Okay.
Let me try. We can see that yours in a huge problem now. Something bad happened. There are many vegetables diet as a sort of vegetables and sort of food, and people don't know how to produce food anymore. That's why all the scientists, all the engineers are no longer in trend. People want to be farmers because all the humankind need food, and this is why we can see a family with this guy protagonist. His name is Cooper, who is a former pilot in NASA, and now he's an engineer for farming machines, something like that. And we learn a lot from the prologue because we know that many people starve, many people have diseases, and it's terrible. Yours going to die, I think.
Oh, my favorite type of movies,
Yes.
Something
right. And there was a moment about education. They don't try to educate children anymore because it's useless. Because they spend time for engineers, but they don't need engineers. They don't need scientists. They need farmers. That's all. So, and Cooper is very unhappy because of that. Because he is well educated. He is trying to educate his children, especially daughter. I don't know why. And she spent a lot of time, and she has a problem with her school because they don't want to educate children. And
but there are still schools, right?
Right.
There are still schools. Okay, so what do they do at schools?
Because the farming is a complicated process now. Because of this dust, because of this machinery, because of this, I don't know, combine. Is it a word or no? All that is complicated now. So they need good operators of all the techniques. Gerard, please.
We can only see a crop of corn. And I didn't see any tree in the whole movie. So it looks like, and the weather is hot and dusty. There are a lot of dust storms. Looks like there was some climate change problem.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
we cannot see animals either.
Right. So it's going to extreme. It's not only about food. The scientists later on in the movie said that we run out the how we call it, oxygen, and next one
Nitrogen.
gas in the air. Nitrogen. So we run out nitrogen and we will suffocate still soon. So it's need to do something. Vasants?
Yes.
Comment, question? Vasants, please.
Yes, yes. In their schools, they only teach. Mostly, they teach agriculture, how to farm, not engineering. So they mostly their syllabus has corrected versions of the Apollo missions. That those missions are only they were made made for bankrupt Soviet Union or something. So they. So they think it is. They didn't believe that they went to the moon. So
They simplify the history because I don't know why. Gerard, why they simplify it?
I don't understand why they wanted to, deceive the students.
Right. I think it's to lower expectation for students. So if students know that we go to space and we have iPhones, they will want them. But
they want more. Yeah.
So they simplify the history. Well, it's the first part, right? Next part. Let's call it anomaly. What happened, Gerard?
Yeah, like a conflict, something like the incident which should happen in the story, right?
Yeah.
Just
what we talked before, it was not prologue, it was pre-prologue. So what happened next?
Okay.
The protagonist is named Cooper, and it's the actor, as you know, it's Matthew McConaughey, and Cooper's daughter is called Murphy has a room where he says there are ghosts, and those ghosts, yes, a sort of ghost.
Okay.
And those ghosts communicated with her and gave her coordinates, and those she went with her father, Cooper. There was a place where there was actually NASA. NASA was there in a secret place, and they told the boss, the most important guy there was Professor Brand. I don't know. The actor was Michael Caine.
Professor
Brandon. Okay, Brandon. And he had a project to save the Earth. Well, actually, two projects. One was making a big spaceship, a station in space, but it was in the Earth. But he needed to solve a problem with the gravity, so the space station could leave the Earth. Because to leave the Earth, we need a lot of power. Like when you shuttle a rocket. The professor said that he was about to find the equation to solve this problem, and the other plan was Plan B, that they found out a wormhole next to Saturn, and through this wormhole they could travel to another galaxy. And they knew that in those galaxies there was 3 planets with possible that they could be possible colonized.
Okay.
Right. So because of some clue from someone, because of some clue from some spirit or ghost, they have coordinates of special secret NASA service. On the Earth there are still scientists, and they build plans how to save the Earth. And as I understand, they have 2 plans, as Gerard mentioned, but I retell it in my words. So they have plan plan A. Maybe plan A, to save all the people, many people from the Earth, just solving the problem of gravity. Why they think that they can solve this gravity? Because on the Earth became a lot of gravitation anomalies, and physicians found more new facts. many new facts, and they are going to find a new source of energy, maybe, or new type of engine, something like that. But it's not ready just now. So they have plan B, which means they recolonize the world, some world. They found it. They have a lot of, how we call this, embryo, maybe. They have some medicine, and they can, grow up the children, and
okay. From stem cells. Okay, I understand. Surrogacy? Is it surrogacy?
Surrogacy, but without any.
Without women and men. Wonderful. Nobody is needed, actually. Okay, out of thin air.
Well, they have a plan, because the traveling is very long. They will wake up first, not wake up, maybe take birth for first children, then educate them, and then again. It will be by exponential growth of the humankind, something like that. So sounds good, but what is the cons of this plan? The cons of this plan that we have to leave all the people on the earth, right? They all will die. And the protagonist, it's an important thing in the movie. I think it's one of the clue. The protagonist is very, can you say, very family guy. I don't know. He loves his family very much. So for him, it's a main reason how to save the daughter, how to save his son, and so on. So he thinks about plan A, not about plan B. And as he was a pilot in past, and they don't have a better candidate for that. They are going to use him as a pilot for this mission. And Vasans told us about Lazarus mission. Lazarus, Vasans, how they call it?
Lazarus mission, that's right. Okay.
Lazarus missions. So they already sent some ships to the eternal space to find a planet. And now they received some signals, and they know exactly that 3 planets is fit the needs, maybe, something like that. But so it's a long, complicated...
Can be colonized. Okay, 3 planets.
3 planets, yes. But it's a long, complicated story how they reach this faraway galaxy, because it's impossible to do directly, and they use some black hole which appeared in our space. How they call it? Black hole? Black hole, right?
Yeah.
Wormhole.
Wormhole, right? Wormhole. So it's somewhere.
The 2 different things. There is wormhole and black hole.
Right. It's Gargantua, right? Gargantua, black hole. Right?
Black hole, yeah.
So it's a kind of a way through the space, kind of magic way in a 4 or 5 dimensional, something like that. So they go. What happened next? What sounds?
So everybody, the 12 people were dedicated their lives to the Lazarus mission. They have no family, they have no attachment, so that they can do or die. They can take a decision. So they went through the wormhole. They went to the different 12 planets to check whether it's habitable or not. Then some of the missions some of the planets were not habitable, and they were dead. Those scientists were dead, and only 3 options were remaining. One is Miller's planet, and the another one is planet, and the last one is Edmund's planet. So initially they went to the Miller's planet, and which had water, but there's nobody can live there because it has 130% of Earth's gravity, so it could not survive. It's full of water.
Okay, let's stop on this for a moment. It's an interesting episode, and there is the first time paradox, right? So let's talk about that. What is that time paradox, and why it's important? You can continue.
Okay. In this planet, due to the gravity, 130% of gravity, the time slippage is different, because if they spent 1 hour in that planet, it is equals to 7 years from the Earth's time slippage. So every hour equals to 7 years back in a year. So they didn't
It's
know.
right. It's right, but I
Sorry?
don't think it's about gravity. I don't think it's about
Yeah.
gravity, Gerard.
Yeah. So
What do you
why
think?
is it gravity? Mhm.
Yeah.
It's about some another effect. This planet located very close to a black hole, and somehow it's changed the time flow. Am I right or not, Gerard? What do you think?
Yeah, I think something like this. Yes, it's
Yes,
complicated.
but
Yeah.
so, but
Yeah,
it's
it's like
in
kind of
general.
Narnia type of thing, because I'm reading about Narnia now, and something like that happened over there, like different dimensions, different worlds, and so on. Okay.
So they try to do a special trick to minimize
Yeah.
the time on this planet. They have to make everything fast, because if they fail, if the planet is not suit the interest, they will spend maybe 50 years easily in one day, and they will have no one to save, because yours can die for that time. So they invent some tricky plan, and something goes wrong, right? Vasants, please continue.
Yes, they tried to tried to observe what happened to the scientists just landed a few minutes ago, but while they were searching something, they could see a huge mountains. Actually, that was not a mountain; it was water waves. So due to the gravity, the water can raise to such a level. It looks like a mountain. So that much height. So so due to that, one of the wave hit their ranger, their vehicle. So their vehicle were hit by a huge wave, and it was waterlogged. One of the scientists were dead uh, at that time, and due to that unexpected accident, they had to stay for a minute to drain the water. So it cost them 20 something years, 20 plus years. It cost them, yeah. Yes.
Oh, they lost 23 years because of that accident on this planet, because they need to what's the word for it? Dry the engine, maybe something like that. Okay, and when they return, there was a nice moment. I liked it. They ask why we still receiving the signal that everything is good on this planet. Why we getting this symbol? Because the previous spacecraft was landed recently by time on that planet. So, but it's another time on yours. So it's another paradox. Two paradoxes in one row, but it's still understandable. So they return it back. They have two planets still. What's the next one, Gerard? How is story going?
Then they go to Murphy's planet, which is a cold planet. Murphy was sleeping. Murphy's actually knew that the mission A wasn't real. Plane A wasn't real, wasn't possible. So the whole plan of the mission was to colonize another world. And he fights with Cooper because Cooper doesn't want to accept that and tries to kill him. And they
Who tries to kill
Murphy.
whom?
Okay,
Mans.
Is it Mans?
Mans.
I thought that Murphy was the name of the daughter.
I'm wrong. It's Dr. Mans, who was the astronaut that was in this planet waiting.
Okay.
He was, like a sleeping cryogenic, like sleeping, so he didn't waste his time. He was waiting, and he was emitting a signal, so they thought that this planet was good, but actually it wasn't. It wasn't good, this planet.
Okay.
And
I like this scene very much, because Dr. Mann is their former leader. The man who encouraged everyone to go to the space, to risk their life to save the humankind.
Okay.
And finally, he was the one who make a signal from the planet which doesn't suit the needs, because she was scared. She was scared that she will die here alone, and so it was a trap. He just wanted to rescue with using their ship, their ship.
Okay, maybe we should explain something. We should explain something about the ships, because there is a small ship that goes to the planet, and there is something big like a ring that it's the main spaceship that travels outside between planets. The small ship is like a probe. I think it's a probe. I don't know. It's small, very small, and then stacks with the big ship. And this man wanted to stack his ship to steal the main spaceship, but he didn't succeed. He didn't.
He didn't succeed.
Succeed?
Succeed. Basans, please.
Yes, Dr. Mann was the best of the 12 scientists, and he initiated the Lazarus mission. That's why he wanted to finish the mission. So he was alone in that planet, and due to the wormhole situation, after you get into the wormhole, you can only receive the signals from Earth, but you cannot send back something to the Earth. So that's where the problem comes. They could not solve the gravity equation. So Dr. Mann was waiting for someone to help, someone to save him. Then the three people went there to his planet, and they woke him up, and he decided to take their ship to complete his mission, because he wanted to complete his mission, because he started that mission, he initiated that. So
I thought that he was sending some signals, but you said that he didn't. So
yes,
I'm a bit confused.
Yes, actually he is sending signals, but it cannot go off beyond the wormhole, because these scientists get inside the wormhole, so they could receive the signals.
Okay.
As I understand that only simple signals can go through the wormhole, so they can speak, they can call, they can make a conversation, just a signal, red or green. Okay. Is it good or is it bad? Something like that.
Okay.
And I like this story on this planet very much, because these dialogues very good, very intensive. He tried to explain his motives. He want to be a hero still. He feel like he is a hero, but he's scared. He is betrayed them, and he want to find the justification for himself. And it's very interesting. And in the same time, I like the scene when they have a fight, when they try to break the helmet, glass on the helmet, because if you break that, you will dead. And so
no oxygen over there, no breathing air. Oh, okay.
Yes. Planet is totally trash. They don't have a kernel.
Ammonia. Oh my goodness! Yes, wonderful.
Yes, and it's reminded me another movie. It reminded me a movie when the guy waked up the girl. What is the name? So he's on this planet. He knows he will be alone for forever, and he has a button. You press it, and people may come. If you don't press it, you will die here. And he said, "I was tempted for years. I was waiting around this button, but finally I pressed it." And I like that, because it's easy to be a hero in a short perspective, in a moment, in a 1 hour, for a day. But for years, life can break you, So I like that very much. And but they survived. He killed by an accident. So
he was killed. He was killed. This Dr. Mann was killed.
Yes, he was killed because he was in hurry maybe and did not do the lockout very precisely, and there was a blast when he tried to enter this Endurance. They call it that Endurance, the big ship. I don't know, is it a name or a term or something? So when he tried to get into the Endurance, it's blasted and he was killed. And the worst part of that Endurance was damaged itself. it's not so good after. So, what's next? Jürgen, would you like to continue?
If I can.
Please try.
Yeah, there was Edmund's planet, but maybe that's later in the story. I don't know. I can't contribute.
It is fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it's complicated. So,
Yeah.
who was last? I don't know. What else? Would you like to try?
Yeah, where we stop?
We stop it on the last planet. The endurance is damaged. They trying to mount with it. So what happened?
Okay. So yes, after the endurance was damaged, Cooper and Dr. Band, the female scientist, tried to dock with their ranger, and finally they did it with the help of the two robots, Tars and Case. And after that, they tried to slingshot with their endurance. With, how do we call it? The Gargantua. So the Gargantua is pulling; its gravity is pulling their endurance. So they let it pass for a few as long as possible, and once they get the higher velocity, they use their Rangers retro thrusters to boost it. Yeah.
Just a second. So you explaining this slingshot maneuver, right? So what is that? They use some gravity forces from a big object to make it like energy for they moving. So they try to make this maneuver, and there are a lot of pictures about that in the internet how it's made. But the problem is that endurance is damaged. They run out of the energy and so on. So they have to use these small shuttles. I don't know, these small ships from endurance as an engine, and it's a hard choice. Why? What sense?
Okay. Come again?
Yes, please.
So could you please explain that?
So why it's a hard choice to use this? I forgot the shuttles as an engines.
Yes, because it has manual access. It needs manual access. To inside the Ranger, someone has to sit inside, and they have to command the engine. So use the retro thrusters. So like that. So Cooper takes one, and another robot Tars takes another Ranger. So they went inside.
So it's ended in a way that only this female engineer, I forgot her name. Gerard, what is her name? Tori? No.
Which engine?
This astronaut with Cooper.
The only woman over there, and you don't remember her name.
Amelia.
Amelia, okay.
Sorry, or Amelia, it's the same. Yeah, it's almost the same.
Is the actress Anne Hathaway?
Okay. Anne Hathaway.
Yeah.
So why don't you know her? You don't remember her. Okay.
Okay, so she's the only one who is going to recreate, humankind on this planet. But maybe that guy on that planet can meet her, and by strange coincidence, she's in love with him from the year's time. So everything will be fine.
Yeah,
What's
it's
happened?
easier, much easier this way.
Okay, another part of the movie is that this gargantua, as they call it, this black hole, is important for scientists on the Earth to understand the gravity in nature. So they need to have some experiment, to take some examples or something. I don't know, it's unclear from the movie, but they need to touch that. So Cooper is going to kill two hares in one shot, right? He is engine for Emilia, and then, as a second goal, he is going to reach this Gargantua.
Okay.
Am I right?
Mhm.
Gerard?
Yes.
What's happened next? The most magic story of the movie.
When Cooper's spaceship is like breaking, it's something because inside the black hole,
Black hole. Mm-hmm.
and he finds a sort of device, cubicle device, and he thinks that he's dead. In this device is something created by 5-dimension beings, and he can
So
see.
he found something in the black hole, right?
Yeah, it's like a cubicle with many cubicles, and he can see things in the past.
Oh,
He
okay.
could see his daughter when she was then in the place about the ghost. So Cooper was the ghost that was communicating with her.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so he finds some magical space. They say it's 5-dimensional space which projected into our space, and it's how they call it, unfold with a time scale. So he lives already in all the times, or the space, but he cannot communicate. He cannot get back. So he's trying to find a way to communicate with his daughter, and he found this way as with gravity anomaly. So he was a reason of these gravity anomalies, and with these gravity anomalies, he shared the data about about some knowledge. About some knowledge about gravity, about something. It was a tricky way, but they found it, and finally his daughter was a scientist who solved the problem for the yards of getting out on the rocket. Am I right?
Yes, leaving the planet with this big space station so they could keep a lot of people there.
Okay.
And the best part, happy end. What happened after? If you think that it's happy end, no, not yet. Happy end is coming.
Not yet. Oh, okay.
Vasans, what is the happy end part?
After he sent a gravitational message to the daughter, he was found near Saturn, floating on the air, floating on the space, and some future generation grabbed him, and he was due to the time slippage. He was 120 something age, and he went to, and but he still looks like a younger, like a 40 plus age, but literally he was 126 age older, and he was taken to a space station built by the future human. I mean the people from the Earth, the future human, and
got him. Okay.
Oh yes, and
so these are human from the Earth, yeah, like future.
Yes,
okay, future people.
Due to the gravity message, they were saved by his daughter.
Yeah.
And,
yes.
And they grown, and they
and
found
his daughter
him.
Was very old. So actually, she was dead already by that time. Okay.
No,
not
she
yet.
was alive. Yes, she was alive, and because she was in a cryo sleep for almost 2 years, because she hoped that her dad would come. Because when she found the gravitational message on her watch, so she knew that her father was still alive. So
but she knows something.
Yes. So she went to the cryo sleep, and finally he meets her with a lot of children, grandchildren around them.
Okay.
Right. We skip it as that story, but during the movie there were a lot of drama about that, about relation between daughter and the father, because initially she thinks that she left her, she dropped her, and so on, and she has a lot of feelings about that, and he has. So it was a drama inside. And it was a happy end because of that. Not only the yours saved, not only the humankind, but the daughter finally loved him and
personal. Yes. Okay.
So that's all, and it's very interesting.
That's not all. You forgot the best. So Cooper leaves the space stations and goes to the planet where Amelia
Right.
is working. That's
Well-
so she's a sort of in love with her.
But I don't know why it's the best, because for me it seems that Amelia does not love him, and there is no love story in the movie. So why she should go? He should go. He have to go for this planet. I don't understand. Is he interested in Amelia? What do you think?
I think so, because
But it's
he
not
asked
clear.
he asked Tars, the robot, whether Emilia was in love with Doctor. Dr.
But reason
Brown.
was different. He asked it because he want to know if she has another motivation for planets.
Well, I don't know. I think it wouldn't be that weird that he likes her because she's beautiful and she's the only.
And she's the only woman, yes, over there.
And he was
So
a
not
widow.
many choice.
He was a widower.
Not sure.
Cooper was a
Well.
widower.
Okay, we can count it's like a love story because we don't have anything else. But but in other circumstances, I would not count that. Sounds?
Yeah, you don't remember. You don't
Actually,
even remember her name. Yes, so why should you count anything? Mhm.
Sounds, please.
Yes, actually, Emily loved Edmund before they
Right.
started the Lazarus mission. So that's why she wanted to go to the Edmund's planet, the third planet, before they enter to the second planet. But Cooper insisted that okay, no, the second planet is nearer to us, so we are going to the Dr. Mann's planet. So he ruined the total plan. If they would reach the third planet earlier, they could have saved the Edmund, and they could have complete the Plan B mission. But Cooper's choice ruined that. So that's why his how do you call his he did some fault thing. So he wanted to pay it back to Emilia. That's why he accepted his daughter's word and started to explore where is Emily at the end to save her.
It's a very important point, right, Sans? It was a different story in the movie. Like she said, I have some intuition, some relation, and some love that it's a hard relation more than your physics, more than your dimensions. And I exactly know that planet is very good because, I feel that. And finally, the love saves the world, and not only that love, but his love to the daughter, because he loved daughter very much. This 5-dimensional world make a relation between them, something like that, as I understand it. Maybe it's not very clear.
Yeah.
So somehow we explained what is the movie about, right? Now let's show some pictures of the movie and let's see if Diana can recognize the story. What we after our explanation. Let me share the window, and sometimes it kicks me off. So
what about the questions?
Oh,
I think some of them are important because there are some paradoxes.
Okay, let's choose 2 or 1, please, Gerard. What do you think is the most interesting?
Okay, my second question is interesting because Cooper sent the coordinates of NASA to Murphy from the future. How could you explain that? So because first you need to reach NASA to go to the future. It's a paradox.
Right. So Cooper sent the coordinates to himself, right? Not to his daughter, mostly to himself. But it's a loop in the time. So you have to step into the loop at some point. When does it happen? Right?
Yes, because to start this loop, he needed to go to NASA, but without the coordinates, he can't go. He couldn't go. It's impossible. So it's a little, oxymoronic.
But what answers? No answer. What is the answers?
Usually, when he was dropped inside the tesseract, the fifth dimension, he initially acts emotionally when he saw his daughter in front of his eyes. So he tried to smash the books, and some of the books fell off. So this caused the this caused to think the doctor there was some ghost in her bookshelves. So this is the initial part, and later he realizes, okay, I can send some message to my daughter through this tesseract. So he acts rationally, and later he uses the gravitational forces to send the NASA coordinates first, and later he tries to send the quantum data to a daughter.
Yeah, but I think I understand what Gerard was asking. So in order to send himself those NASA coordinates, he needs to know them first. But as far as I understood, you cannot see that he finds these coordinates in the movie later on.
There is no answer. There is no
Yeah.
answer because
Actually, it's impossible.
well, let's look on that different. It's a loop, right? It's a loop now.
Yeah.
It's a loop now in this reality, because we are this. But there is another reality when he eventually found an answer in another way, and that's how loop was created. And now when we see the loops, we don't know how it was created from another reality, but it did happen somehow.
Okay, it's just not shown in the movie. Then.
Okay. My point is, what if there was some parallel time like we saw in the movie Donnie Darko? So subsequent parallel universes. So he does that every time, same time. He sends NASA coordinates, and then the Cooper reads again. He comes and he sends NASA coordinates to again and again. It's a loop. It's going to save the subsequent parallel universes. Yeah.
It is not only a loop, they change in the past and the future all the time. They call that them. It's like a gods, like this future peoples from 5-dimensional world. They change that every time, many times, right? So let's think that loop was created by them.
Okay. By that.
I wonder many times if the future humans are already exist who can build the tesseract. So why should we save the human from the earth? So I initially thought that, and later I realized, okay, it might be the time loop to save the another universe, parallel universe. That's all.
Yeah, there are many answers. We can't answer all of them. Why this people is a NASA pilot? Why is this woman so pretty? Because without that, there was no movie. So that loop here because it makes a movie. That's the answer.
Yeah.
Okay, Vasant, what is your favorite question? Please choose one. Let me do this. May I? So, your question is, why is Tom, it's a Cooper son, so rude? It's an interesting one. So we know that Cooper has two siblings, two children, right? His daughter, who saved the world, brilliant scientist, and his son, who is a redneck, right? The American redneck with truck, with drinking something, and with family. Why it's happened? Jorgen, what do you think? Why is Tom so rude?
Maybe because Cooper spend most time with his daughter. I don't know.
Right. It's possible. They don't have a mother. She is died from some medicine, how is it called?
Disease, probably. Yep.
Disease, yes, from some disease, and he spends all his time with not all his time, most of the time with his daughter, and the son maybe just just don't have intention.
It happens with children, who lose parents. They become really angry. So let's say that he became angry after his mother's death.
And as I understand, the life of this son was not easy. He lose a child, right? And his job is not something pleasant, and so on.
Yeah.
Vasant, please.
Yes, because in his childhood, his mother was dead, and he lost his mother at the earliest stage, and later his father left him, and he was raised by his grandfather. So raising by grandfather is can be so mature. So because grandfathers are always so mature, so they cannot let you be a children. They how do we call it?
Yeah,
They taught you their
generation-
experiences. Yeah. So you are
Generation
so
gap is bigger, and plus, so he probably felt abandoned by the father as well. So more aggression.
Okay, another question
and
from
he
Jorgen.
stood on-
What is the Murphy law?
Murphy's Law.
Murphy's
Murphy's
law.
law.
Murphy's law.
That's funny. Yeah.
Diana, explain to us, please. What is it?
I don't know what is Murphy's law. I know that a lot of people talk about it.
I know.
So, like 80% of effort, something like that.
No,
20% of work.
No, that's
No,
different.
but as for the movie, yeah, but there is actually a funny, because there is Murphy's law in economy. So
Right.
here,
Because
so Murphy's law is a very like a famous.
it's universal law
yeah,
of the
yeah.
of the existence. Gerard,
Right.
what is it about? Can you define it?
Yes, if something can go wrong, it will
Okay.
go wrong.
It will go
Right.
wrong. Mhm.
So it's a very
Okay.
simple law, that defines our universe. We don't know why, but it just happened. Maybe sometimes, at some point, scientists will be ready to explain us why, but not yet. Okay, so let's look some pictures. We don't have too much vocabulary in it, so I think it will be fast. And let's see. Let me try to share. It's always sticky for me. Interstellar. Boom. Boom. Is it work?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So the first one, it's from the pre-prologue. What we talked. Why they have this these plates covered? Because it's dust everywhere. They wipe everything 10 times a day. They cover everything, notebooks, plates, everything. So
okay.
the life on the earth is
They
unpleasant.
put them. Yeah, they put the plates upside down, right?
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Upside down. And they cover all the things because they close the windows, and it's important. It's a important scene in the movie when the daughter forget to close the window because the sand formed binary code because of gravitation anomaly. Something like this.
Okay. Mhm.
So what is that, Vasant? What we can see on the picture?
It is an Indian drone which flies over Cooper's head, and he managed to track it down, and he landed it by his laptop with the help of his laptop. And yes, it's there.
It's a very short story from prologue which shows us a lot. Shows that he's very proficient in this, and it's explained very many things about their past. They said that 10 years ago all the space teams were closed, all the laboratories were closed, and this is the last one drone from the Indian country government, I don't know, research center, who still tried to do something. So they landed that. It's from prologue still. Jorgen, what can you see here?
A lot of smoke or dust.
It's a dust storm, maybe.
And the crowd of people. What are those people doing?
Baseball. That's the baseball court.
Yeah.
Baseball? So this is
Baseball.
the stadium?
The stadium.
Ah, okay.
The people trying to live their lives still, but it's hard because the earth is dying, so it's a dust storm or something. They all have this piece of clothes on their nose, and they are ready to do that.
Okay.
It's the scene when what was I talking about? If you can see on the floor, there is some waves. This waves is a sand on the floor.
Okay.
It forms some message on the gravity. So it's a room of his daughter, Murphy's room. by coincidence, his name is Murphy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
What is that? What is that, Gerard?
The NASA.
Mhm.
He is in this scene. Cooper find out about the NASA, and he knows, Michael. We can see Michael Caine on the left side, and this guy on the left side, and he knew Michael Caine, the professor, and they explain what they want to achieve with the two plans.
So there is the Lazarus on the wall.
Yes.
The word Lazarus on the wall.
Yeah,
So why is this? The room is called Lazarus.
I think this photos is 12 scientists who went to the space. Can you see?
Yeah.
I think so. It's not clear, but I think so. It's Lazarus Project. It's those scientists who buy a ticket to one-way race.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So this is like a wall of
Fame.
like that. Fame. Yes. Yes.
Do you know who Lazarus was? It was someone that Jesus resurrected. He was dead.
Yes.
He resurrected. So it's like there is
that's why
they want to resurrect all the species in a new place.
The humankind, right. Mm-hmm. Yes. So the humankind is dead, almost dead. So they want to save it, to resurrect the humankind. Cool.
We can see his daughter here, and it's a good coincidence for daughter too, because they started to educate her. They started to make her a scientist. Okay, what is that, Jorgen? Can you remember? Can you recall?
No.
They show that is corn. That is future of the corn. They make some experiments, and they said eventually every agriculture will be dead, and they can see that already in their lab. So that's the reason. That's the reason why they don't believe that they can solve the problem on the Earth.
On Earth, yes. So it does not look. Yes, it does not look good. Definitely, yeah.
Right. And circumstances, this white robe, these tools, it's intimidating as for me.
Yeah. So they're trying to create some conditions for this corn to grow, but we can see that it is not good.
And they have to. Interesting question. Why they have to keep all that in secret? Bosans?
Because to prevent the chaos situation from the people. Because if they say that corn will die soon, so they will gather as much as possible, so it will make some demand. It will.
As I got it, they say it early in the movie that the humankind has limited resources now, and they don't have army anymore. They don't have a university anymore. They don't have anything, and it's impossible to make in public these labs because many starving people always think about about resources, and this looks like wasting of resources. So what is that, Jorgen?
Yes, that is the watch Cooper gave to his daughter before I left, and they are showing the same time.
Synchronizing the watches. What is that?
Yeah, synchronizing the watches.
And he said when. Please.
Yeah, I tell Ivan. I was about to say the same, but you can say it.
He says that because of these time paradoxes, because of this Einstein theory, when he comes back, when he will come back, the time will be different on these watches, and maybe he said you will be older than I am, or we will be the same age, something like that, and it happened. So he is foreseen. He has foreseen it. No, I miss it in grammar.
He foresaw.
He foresaw.
Yeah, foresaw it.
Foresaw it.
Predicted.
Okay. Predicted. What is that? Vasant?
Something beautiful.
Yes, this happens. Their rocket on the air when they left. How do we call the mission? The rocket launch after the rocket launch and on the air, it detached the every excess part to reduce the weight.
Well, I didn't know the name for that. That's why I put it in the vocabulary section, and teacher Liv wrote me that it's stage 1 separation.
Okay.
And
So
then,
the first
we'll
part
be
separated.
and then stage 2 separated, and stage 3 separated. So it's rocket is divided by parts to make it easy, make it lightweight, and so on. Next one, it's what is that, Jart?
Endurance.
Endurance, right?
Yeah, that's the big spaceship that can travel between planets. So there's a small ship, and this is the big one. It's like a ring, and the small ships adapt, getting attached to the main ship.
There are many beautiful scenes in the movie about space, right?
Yes, and what it's nice is that they are real because there is no noise. There is no noise because in the space, Star Wars films, you can hear a lot of noise, but in the space there is no atmosphere, there is no noise.
Vasant, please.
Yes, what I admire from this film is the visual representation of many things like wormhole, gargantua, black hole. So because we know that we saw it on this movie, but I'm thinking about the visual creators. They had no idea before creating this visual representation of wormhole and black hole. Somebody told them by just theoretically, but how did they manage to create such a realistic representation of wormhole and something, any other thing?
Yes, visual effects are fantastic in this movie. And Jürgen, speaking of silence in the space, what about music in this movie? Usually you told us about music in the movies. What about this one?
Yeah, it was relaxing.
I found that too much. It's too much relaxing, too much depressive, I would say.
Okay.
So that is the planet 1, the planet with anomalies, the water planet, the time anomaly, and this one on the behind the sand is a big wave, right? It's a not very successful picture, but the wave is big. Let's see if I put another one. Who is that, Jürgen?
Tom.
And what is happening here?
Sending a message to Cooper.
So the team crew cannot send the message, but they still can receive the messages. And when they returned from this planet with anomaly, they found that 23 years are passed, and they have a lot of messages. And he sits here and looks message by message, and for all these 20 years, and finds that his son doesn't believe in him anymore. That he will return or something like that. And the story is how we can call it? Pathetic, pity, I don't know.
Melodramatic?
Melodramatic, yes. Because he explained how he meets his wife, how they have a child, and then lose the child, and all these things. So it's a melodramatic story. And he can't answer, and he can't even explain that what happened, why he wasn't here for long years. So melodramatic story. What is that? Let me switch one to my favorite moment. What is happening here, Diana?
I don't know. Someone is dead or what? So, or this is one of those cryo sleeping thing you were talking about. I'm not sure.
Almost. Almost, you close. It's a fight, you know. The guy on the bottom is
Yeah.
Dr. Mann. Dr. Mann. They
Okay.
fighting, and in this moment they are in, how they call it, clinch is the word.
Melee?
From box terms, you know, when they
Yeah.
tied to each other and cannot hit anyone. So, and in this position, Dr. Mann decided to break the glass. How? They they hit by all glasses to glass of Cooper, and Cooper said, "Stop it! You have a 50% that your glass will be break." What
Yeah.
answer? What he answered? What's answer?
Those are the best odds I have had in years.
It's a good line. I like that. So this 50-50 is a very, very good chance for him. He won't here for a long time.
So there is a lot of snow over there on that planet. Yeah.
Snow, cold, ammiac, clouds, storms, nothing good in general. So impossible to live here. But he asked him to went here because what was explained, because he was scared. He wasn't.
So there is snow, there is water. So why there is no oxygen over there?
Maybe it's not a water.
It's not H2O, no, not the same type of snow.
Something from ammiac.
Yeah,
they say it.
Very white for ammiac. Okay.
Sorry, I have to leave.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Gerard. Thank you.
Yeah.
You know, our time is almost over. We can finish that, or we can finish a few more pictures as you like.
I have to leave as well, guys.
Let's call it a day. So we have as always, I will put all this on Medruk.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for class.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for explaining the movie to me.
Yes, and please write your suggestions for the next movie. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.